we're going to see a presentation about being an athlete, becoming a champion, and how to overcome struggles like cyberbullying and other social media corruption. We got them here today by entering a contest through Twitter. I received a notification through the Boston Bruins Twitter page saying if you'd like to be a part of our BFit series, enter for a chance for your school to be included. So I did, not thinking that we'd get picked, and we got picked, and now they're here. Our expectations are for everyone to just enjoy it and learn. This is kind of in memory of Mr. Gannon, because he always brought like cool people to the school having to do with sports, and we figured since he wasn't here this year, someone's got to fill his big shoes.
So make up for the Patriot.
Yeah, gotta get something exciting going here.
First of all, before we begin with our presenters, I want to welcome our 8th graders from Clinton Middle School. Welcome to Clinton. We're ready for a very exciting presentation, and high school will show the 8th graders what it means as far as how we behave here. I'm sure they do as well. And a presentation here by our invited guests. They will explain and give you all the details as to who they are and also the purpose of this assembly. This assembly has a very, very sound and important message. So let's respect our presenters as we always do here, and we welcome them to spending time with us here at Clinton High School.
Super excited. We're here from the Boston Bruins as well as the Massachusetts National Guard to talk to you guys about a couple of really important topics that you guys all face in your life every day. So we're going to go over teamwork and leadership, social media, nutrition, as well as keeping yourself happy and healthy. So before we get started, I'm Julia. I'm representing the Bruin side. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later in the presentation, but we're going to get started first with John Whitesides.
How's everybody doing today, all right? My name's John Whitesides. I used to be the strength and conditioning coach for the Boston Bruins, and before that I was the strength and conditioning coach at Boston College. So some of the stuff that I've learned over that time, I'm going to kind of translate into what you do every day. And a lot of this presentation has a lot to do with what we've learned. The Bruins, as well as the Boston College team that I work with, both won championships. All right, after long periods of time. Boston College, it took 52 years between championships. The Bruins, it took 39 years. So there was something different about those two teams and about how they were than every other team that had come before them. Championship winning groups. I don't care if you're an athlete. I don't care if you're in a business. Championship winning groups have different things. They have different makeups. They have more grit to begin with. Has everybody heard that word before? Grit? Yeah, hard work, toughness, effort, what you're made of, right, deep down. But it could be firefighters, it could be military people, it could be teachers, all right? A school is a group of people. What you do in a business is groups of people. Now the common qualities are your experiences together, your culture, your chemistry, the belief that everybody is valued. So on a hockey team, if you're on the 4th line and you feel like, you know what, I don't really matter in this team, then you're probably not going to give a lot of effort. Where that 4th line player could be the most important player at the right time. Structured plans and great leadership also play huge roles. Now we have 2 different types of BFit, being fit physical and being fit mental. Now the first thing we're going to talk about is the physical part of it, but I think the second part of this whole thing, the more important part, is the mental part of being fit, especially for high school students. Now everyone says, why is it, we always hear it every day, fitness world, it's crazy, right? Do this, do that, you're going to be super fit, you're going to be in shape, and you're going to live a long life. It's a $168 million industry. right? To try to sell you something, to do it quick and get in shape. All you have to do is eat a little bit better and move around a little bit more, right? It's not some big thing that I'm going to sell you. It's going to take you 5 minutes and you're going to be in shape. All you got to do is eat a little bit better and move a little bit more. I don't care if you walk, you run, you're a swimmer, all those things, you're doing something. Now here's the American thing right here, right? Fads. You know, what's the next fad you can do? Guess what? That little thing right in the middle, that little twist board, you might have seen it on Shark Tank. My kids do that at home too because it's called a spooner. So they took a kid's toy, an adult got on it, and all of a sudden they, oh God, this is easy. I twist around a little bit, really, I feel my abs a little bit, I'm gonna get super in shape. It's not true, right? It's not true, but this is the American dream. The get rich quick, the get in shape quick. There's no substitute for hard work. There's no substitute for hard work. If you don't do it, you're not gonna get any better. I don't care what it is. So people always ask me, where I was a strength and conditioning coach for so long, what is the best exercise program? What is the best one? And what are the most important parts of it? The number one part is dedication. You gotta do it. So if you don't do something and continue to do something, you're not gonna get any better at it. So I don't care if you're, like you said, you're a walker, a swimmer, a biker, a jogger. If you don't stay doing that, you're not going to get any better. The second thing is your nutrition. So if you're shoving burgers in your face, eating French fries, pizza every night, ice cream, but then you get on the bike for an hour, guess what? It's not going to offset it. It's not going to get any better. So those are the two big things of an exercise program. Those two things. We didn't even talk about sleeping. We didn't even talk about flexibility. And we didn't even talk about the program itself. So the next thing we're going to talk about is your healthy diet and what you eat. So we've got someone from the National Guard, the Massachusetts National Guard, come up. She's got a ton of experience in nutrition. She's going to give you some really common tips. Small changes, not huge changes. Not eat like a rabbit, not never go into Dunkin' Donuts, not ever have cake. She's going to give you normal, small changes that you can implement in your lives.
Good afternoon. My name is Sergeant Welton. I am with the Recruiting and Retention Command out of Westover. I've been there for about almost a year. Before that, I was a licensed social worker. I am CrossFit Level 1 certified. I've taken several different nutrition and fitness courses, and I am part of the Guard Fit as well. So there's three main components: sleep, activity, and nutrition. The one that I'm going to be focusing on today is nutrition. All right, so what you notice here is different things that you might consume throughout the day. So soft drinks, and the calorie count that comes with, and what you have to do in order to be able to burn that off. So the average person consumes about 2,000 calories per day. If you want to lose weight, you have to subtract 500 from that, so you should really only be intaking about 1,500. And if you want to gain weight, then you should be adding roughly around 500 calories, so you'd be taking in about 2,500. The body burns calories at rest, and that all depends on how much, on gender, your activity level, age, things like that. So the goal is, if you want to lose weight, you have to burn more calories than you intake. So again, if you're going to go ahead and drink fountain drinks or coffee or things like that, then, you know, a fountain drink, a large one, would be roughly 275 calories. You would want to do about 275 push-ups. So who really wants to do that? That's a lot of work. So it doesn't mean mean that you have to go ahead and cut out those things that you really enjoy consuming on a day-to-day basis, but that does mean you can go and make different alternatives and healthy choices. So instead of having whole milk or half and half, sub it out for non-fat milk or almond milk. Energy drink, an apple, it's still an energy booster, but without all of that extra sugar and all that extra calories. Same thing, everyone likes bagels, tons and tons of carbs, but you can go ahead and you can sub that out with something that's more whole wheat, more hearty for you. So in addition to that, portion control, right? We all hear about portion control and how important it is. We tend to get away from that a lot, especially when we're out to eat, going out to, TGI Fridays or Applebee's or Dunkin' Donuts or anything like that. Their portion control is much larger than your typical one. So one way that you can go ahead and kind of mitigate the amount of calories and the amount of food that you're bringing in is simply you can use your hand. The palm of your hand is about 3 to 3.5 ounces. That would be good for portioning out chicken or portioning out any sort of meat or anything like that. Same thing with your finger. You can use your finger, your index finger, as kind of a good guide. It's about a teaspoon, so if you want to, you're going out to breakfast and you're going to butter your toast, you can use that as kind of a good guide to make sure that you're not consuming too much. Kind of same thing with if you make a fist and you use your knuckles, same thing with pasta, right? Pasta is loaded with carbs. They're still relatively good carbs, but they're still carbs and you don't want to consume too much of those. So in addition to all of that, like most things, nutrition is completely mental. It's important not only to be physically fit and fuel your body, but also to be mentally fit.
How many people in here are Bruins fans? All right, I like that. How about Patriots fans? Right? So we're going to refer to the Bruins, the Patriots, the Celtics. Everything's on the table, all right? Now you look back at building yourself, and I think this is an important thing for high school students, and I wish someone sat down with me when I was in high school and kind of laid some of this stuff out. So this is kind of that mental aspect of being fit. Building yourself. We call it in sports, are you a prospect or are you a suspect? I'm telling you right now, when we get a player in, we're like, is this kid a prospect or is he a suspect? Can you be counted on or can you not be counted on? And I'll tell you right now, it's real life too. Like, are you a prospect in your friendships? Can your friends count on you? Or are you a suspect? Are you that friend that maybe shows up when it works for you? There's a small window of opportunity. And I'll tell you right now, you're all sitting there, you're like, you know what, I'm all set. The seniors are graduating, you figure out where you're going. The 8th graders are just coming into this thing. I got all kinds of time. But let me tell you, it goes so fast. And the decisions you make right now are gonna follow you forever. Little things, little changes right now are gonna affect you. And it's kind of scary how quick it goes. We see a kid get drafted in the first round, they show up, boom, they're playing, they're done. They're done with their career. It goes like that. But it's never too late. I'm telling you right now, I don't care if it's me or a teacher or your parents to reinvent yourself and do something different. So if you're in a situation and you're thinking about it now and you're like, okay, I do some of that stuff, stop it. Make the stop, change, and go the other direction. The number one thing I see with athletes, I see with people, is attitude, lifestyle, and how they act. Athletic ability's got nothing to do with it. You gotta have enough athletic ability to be there if you're an athlete, but these other things, they drive the bus. So there he is, David Pasternak, right? Boom, gets drafted first round, hugging his parents, going up there. Biggest day of his life, right? Biggest day. 40% go on to have an NHL career after that. Drafted in the first round. 40%. That means 60% don't even play in the NHL. And that goes for the WNBA, that goes for the NBA, that goes for the NFL. So right, biggest day of their lives, boom, don't even play. So how do you identify a player that has made it in sports? We'll come back to that. Your life, right here, 4 wheels on a car. It drives it. Vision, passion, action, discipline. One of those things comes off that, doesn't drive, right? Discipline, you see it all the time. You know, she just talked about nutrition. Oh, you know what? I'll worry about eating good when I'm 25. You know how many people over the age of 20 are considered overweight in the United States? 70%, right? 35% are considered obese. So the stuff you do now and the stuff that you're doing going forward is going to be if you're in that statistic or you're in the healthy statistic. Just going forward. So any of those things, your actions, your passion, how much you care about something, any of those things comes off, your car doesn't drive. Here it is right here. You see it all the time. I went on the internet and clicked these off the internet. And it wasn't hard to find, it was hard to select which ones I should do. How many people messed up along the way that affected the rest of their lives? High school football players, right? It could be this 6 or another 6 or another 10 after that. I played college football, I know. It could end right there. You get caught in this, you're labeled as that, ruins the rest of your life. These 3 girls, right? Playing at Auburn, in the prime, having fun, get caught in a big marijuana bust. Done. Ryan Leaf, NFL, biggest player, right? Right in front of him was Peyton Manning. Then he got drafted next. Couldn't even play because he didn't work hard. That was his biggest thing. He didn't work hard. He didn't give the effort. He had all the ability. He just didn't want to give any effort. He was lazy. Ended up in jail. There he is, sitting there, and you see it all the time, right? O.J. Simpsons, all these people that you think they've got the world made out, but guess what? Your actions. If you don't act right and you're not doing the right thing, it's going to catch you. Now, I'll tell you right now, I was a strength and conditioning coach for 20 years of my life. I've just come over to the other side to work in the Bruins Foundation, and I learned this whole thing this year called branding. I was like, what is this? I don't understand. It didn't make sense to me. But then I started thinking about it a little bit, and the more people I was around, you have a brand, your personal brand. And everybody in this room, I don't know any of you, but all your friends and all the people that walk the hallways with you, they know what your brand is. They do. Think about it. It's pretty scary, right? They know your brand. Some of you guys might not want to know what they think your brand is. But you can change that brand. But your brand is, when people see you, what do they see? I see this kid up here, that's Greg Campbell. He got hit with a shot, broke his leg, stayed on the ice, finished his shift. If you say, does that surprise me? I say, no. Greg worked hard. Greg showed up every day. I knew he's that type of guy that would go the extra mile. Now, if it was somebody else, and you said that, I'd be like, whoa, geez, I'm shocked. You know, you the person that walks around the school thinking you've got it all figured out, thinking you're better than everybody, but everyone's in the back talking about you. Saying, yeah, they think they're better than everybody. That catches up with you too. So what is your brand? The next thing we're going to go into is social media. Another way you establish your brand. And I'll tell you right now, I'm glad I was never in high school at this moment, because this social media thing is an epidemic. And I'll tell you right now, it can ruin you. It can ruin you. So pay attention to what Julie has to say.
Thanks, guys. All right, social media, your impact on yourself. Now, just like John just said, social media became really big when I was a sophomore in high school. And I mean, it has just grown exponentially. So, what is your digital footprint, and what does it say about you? Your digital footprint is more than your social media. It's what you search on the web. It's what you buy on the web. Everything you do on the internet is recorded. You don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. But someone, an external audience, knows where it is. So think about this question as I go through these slides, okay? Think about your own digital footprint. So, social media, it can be an awesome tool. You can use it to talk to classmates about schoolwork, check in with friends who maybe have moved to a different state, check in with family members, meet new people. Social media can be a great tool, but at the same time, it can be abused and it can have a very negative impact on your life. So, as you advance through your life, you have to think about your brand. What you post now is going to be on the internet forever. You can delete photos, you can try to erase something, get rid of your laptop for all I know, and it will live on the internet. And I'm telling you right now, people, an external audience, will look at what you have done in the past. So, hot button issues, that's a big thing on social media. Couple of things, stay neutral. A lot of stuff, religion, politics, sex, gender, all that stuff, stay neutral on it. Social media is not the best form to voice your own opinion. It may seem like it, it's a quick and easy tool to access, but resist it. Just stop, breathe, think before you post. That's all we ask. Think about it. Think about if you were an outside person and you were looking at your own post, what would you think about yourself? Because people may not know you, but they see what you write and they're going to make a judgment. So, think before you post. The Bruins, they all have social media accounts too. All the players do. Now what they do is that's an off-ice distraction. They have to do their job. You guys have to do your job. Your job is to be a student, to be the best person you can be. So if you let social media be a distraction for you off-ice or in your life, you're going to see the ramifications later on. See these photos? You guys all just made a judgment about each one of these people, didn't you? Yeah, you don't know who they are. You don't care who they are. You just looked at that photo and you made a judgment about them, even if you don't want to admit it. So it looks all fun, right? They're having fun with their friends. There's even just like a Sprite can in the back of one of the photos. But guess what? Admissions officers are going to see this. Future employers are going to see this. They don't know you, and that's your brand. They're going to see that, and they're going to make judgments about it. So just beware. What you post now will be viewed by other people. I graduated from college 2 years ago, and I played ice hockey up at Middlebury College. And my coach, after being there when I was a senior, sat me down in his office, and he went through all the recruits' Facebook pages. Because he wanted to be prepared when admissions would look them up and bring up issues that they spotted. You think it doesn't happen, it happens. Employers, Bruins do background checks. They looked at your social media pages too. Everyone will do it because not only are they looking at your brand, they want to protect their brand. What you do affects other people. So just beware what you post. Think before what you post. If it doesn't seem like a good idea, don't post it. It may seem cool right now, but trust me, in the future you're going to regret it. So your actions can be newsworthy. You think that just making a little tweet or posting something on your Facebook status or an Instagram caption may not be newsworthy, but something could happen in the future that could make that happen. Like some of these. These seem a little outrageous, right? But those are real posts. Exactly. Now you reading that, you think you're smarter than that too, right? I do. I read that and I said I would never make a post like that. But what you post is going to affect what happens, okay? Now, biggest thing, Snapchat. Who here has a Snapchat? I do. Everybody has a Snapchat. Now, Snapchat. You think you send a photo for 10 seconds, you're safe. Photo deletes. Nope, Snapchat saves that in the cloud. Someone could screenshot it. Someone could do something with it. Your Snap messages, those are easily saved. Someone just touches the message and it's saved. You add something to your story. People view it. They can screenshot it, send it to other people. Also with Snapchat, someone Snapchats you doing something. Someone screenshots that, sends it around. Snapchat, I know it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it, but you need to be really careful with it because it gives you a false sense of security that it's just going to disappear, I promise. 24 hours, your Snapchat story is gone. It's not. It is somewhere on the web. So, after that talk, what's your digital footprint? Think about it. Go through your social media profiles. Check it out. See what you would think if you saw yourself as a third party. Would you hire this guy? I know I wouldn't hire him. Now, he obviously didn't post that photo, but someone else did. You're laughing now, but you guys have a lot of challenges coming up in life, and that could very easily be one of you in a vulnerable situation. So, I'll wait. So, as I hand it off, and we're going to go over some other social stuff like cyberbullying, what is your digital footprint? Think about it. I'm only 23, and I still have to think about what I post online too. You really have to think about it. All right, so we're going to go over some stuff now like cyberbullying.
I'm First Sergeant Peters. I work for the Massachusetts Army National Guard. I've been in since 2001, pre-September 11th. So people in here weren't even born around that time. But that's what I did. I've been deployed 3 times. Drill sergeant, first sergeant, rappel master. Got a lot of time in the Army National Guard and a lot of experiences, both because of the way the internet came in and social media and things like that, and bullying. And I've been around the block, even on the civilian side. You know, yeah, a couple of civilian jobs, things like that, but most of my time has been focused on the military. Before we get in, we were talking about branding before. We'll also talk about how branding and bullying can affect your brand and have people look on that, whether it's cyberbullying or regular bullying. Before I get rolling, I'd like to have you guys help me out. Can everybody in this far left row stand up for me, please? This whole left section. Just stand up. Yeah, there you go. Stand up, look good, stand tall, look good. Hey, you two right there, black sweater, stand up for me. Yeah. All right, you two sit down. All y'all sit down. Actually, stand back up just for one more second. Stand back up. All right, sit down. Sit down. Sit down. All right. Did I just bully you? Did I abuse my power? Did I isolate you? Did I make you feel bad? Do you know? Hey, raise your hand if I think I bullied you. Somebody raise their hand. Anybody? A couple people feeling offended? Raise your hand if you think I didn't bully you in that scenario. All right, raise your hand if you really don't care and you want this over with, you want to go home. Yeah, all right, there's a couple of you, all right? So, therein lies the problem, all right? There's 3 steps when we talk about bullying, whether it's cyberbullying or regular bullying. And the first thing is we got to identify it, right? Everybody's different. Some people think bullying is what I just did to you, I abuse power. Some people don't think so, maybe, we don't know. We got to identify it. So out of the 3 steps, that's the first step to it. I'm also an instructor for a program called HERE. It's helping each other achieve respect. All right, it's about anti-bullying. That program is like 45 minutes. I'm not going to hold you for 45 minutes. I'll burn through this. You'll have me for 5. So I brought it down to 3 steps. Identifying what the issue is, identifying bullying, and then fixing yourself, and then fixing others. So part of identifying bullying, here's some examples. All right, saying or writing hurtful things. You know, physically touching somebody. You guys talking about bullying right now? Talking about different examples? All right. Exclusion, shaming, humiliation. Some of that stuff right there is hazing. So we're doing a lot of sports talking about hazing in classes, whether you're in a wrestling team, which was my forte, or whether you're playing football, baseball, whatever it is. There's hazing that tends to go on. That's a form of bullying, and you can't do that now. All right? That's going to get around. That's going to affect your brand, and people are going to see it, especially if it's posted on social media. Any behaviors that can be connected with sexual harassment or discrimination. And again, like I said, hazing here. I purposely left one off from here, bullying, and that's cyberbullying. Because cyberbullying can be all of these, except that it's behind a computer or it's behind your phone. Even physical, I know you're looking at physical, maybe that's the only exception, but even then, if I type on a phone, I hate you, and then I whip that at your face, all right? That could be physical, right? That's physical bullying. I'm not going to do that. I like my job. I'm not going to do that. But that could be there. That can tie it in. So these are all things that you need to look at, you need to identify, because you may not know you're doing it, especially if you're the type of person you're identifying these things. Maybe you're doing it online, all right? Maybe you're making these comments, whether it's on Snapchat for a second, you don't think it's going on, or it's something on Facebook that's posted, and you're making a comment about this person being stupid or they look silly, right? There's effects from there, all right? People are going to see that. All right, it's going to kill your brand, and then people are going to respond on it, and that's bullying, and you're going to affect that other person. Now, whether you're doing it because you don't understand, and you don't think it's going to affect the other person, or you think they got thick skin, all right, you just don't know any better, and you got to figure that out. Or maybe you're just like, you're a tough guy, keyboard tough guy behind there, so you just are legitimately a bully. So either way, you either have to fix yourself if you're that first one, and I hope you're the first one, that doesn't know that you're affecting somebody else, but even if you're the second person, we have ways to fix that as well. So First, you got to start with fixing yourself. We identified problems, you got some ideas of what's going on, you got to fix yourself, and here's the way you can do it. One, she already talked about, thinking about before you thinking before you post. Like if you write it up there before you post, think about it. Think of the repercussions and how the other people are going to feel. If you realize that you sometimes bully others, then you got to change your behavior. It all starts with you. You need to be self-aware. Look at it. Stop doing it. It's that easy. Just don't post it. What does it matter? And there's some other examples on here. Being a positive role model by setting the example for others. So whether you're in the military or whether you're on a team, those leaders that come out are the leaders that try to do the best that they can and set the example for others. Because the problem is you start to ruin your team. If you're a leader and you set a great example and you go around, how can you influence those that are around you if you're doing the wrong thing? So here for, say, me and Sergeant McCombie are deployed a couple of times together, he's going to be coming up and talking about leadership. So say him and I work together, and I always set a great example, and I talk to him about things, what to do, what not to do, and all of a sudden he finds out that, I'm cyberbullying, or I lied about something, or I'm not the great, or I don't set a great example like I push out there. He's not going to listen to me anymore. Right? He's not going to look at me as a leader. He's going to think, well, hey, if you do this, then who knows what else that you do behind closed doors. So it's important that if you want to be a leader in your team or going around, that you set a good example. All this can be part of changing your culture. So if you're changing yourself, you're changing your culture. And if you're doing that, setting a good example and influencing those around you, they'll naturally follow you. You'll become a natural leader and they'll naturally follow you. But there are those people that I was talking about, the second option, the people that think they're tough behind the phone or behind a keyboard and they want to make fun of people and tease them. You need to address them as well. So one, protecting access to your Facebook. If what happens, what do they call it now when somebody steals your Facebook page? No, not catfish. No, not catfish. What is it? Hacking. Yeah, somebody whether they're just hacking in, they're stealing your profile, you leave it open for a little bit, and they post something on there about like, hey, hey, I'm the best brother that ever lived, or hey, this guy's an idiot. All right, just protect yourself. Make sure you got your passwords on. Also, let a trusted adult know what's going on. I know nobody wants to be a fake and nobody wants to be a rat, but if somebody's going on there and they're causing issues, like legitimate issues, then you need to let somebody know so they can address it. Also, don't respond or be disrespectful to anybody posting messages. So if somebody puts something on there, you don't need to respond to that. Don't say anything. Don't respond to it. And if they're responding to somebody else's and they're getting upset, just stop. Don't give them the attention they need. And then don't spread the messages. But generally, just to sum it all up, and like I said, I tried to be quick with 5 minutes. Just think about what you're doing before you post. Understand that it's going to affect other people, and then set a good example and do the right thing. And then if you see somebody else doing something wrong, then stand up and bring it to their attention. So be a leader. Good.
Good afternoon. My name is Sergeant First Class McCombie. I'm with Recruiter Retention myself as well. I've been in the military for close to 20 years now. I've been on 5 deployments, been to Afghanistan twice, Iraq, Egypt, Kosovo. I've been around the world. I've been through leadership schools like Ranger schools. I've been through airborne schools, sniper schools. I've been around the world. There's many things that I've been through in my life, but one thing that I learned is you need to be a leader and you need to be able to follow a person. You need to be able to see people around you that you want to be like. The best people out there don't even know that they're being a leader. They're just doing the right thing at all times. So what is a leader? So somebody in the audience, somebody give me what you think a leader is. Right over there. What is it? A person who leads, okay. What do you think a leader is without using leader in the actual definition?
Nailed it.
A strong person. That's very good. So does anyone here think that a leader is a strong person? So a leader is definitely a strong person. It's a person that can take things on their shoulder and they can actually show you the way, okay? Is Chara a leader? Yes, Chara is definitely a leader. Okay? What makes somebody a good leader? The picture over here, we have a drill sergeant. He's telling these people to do push-ups. He's teaching them to become soldiers, to actually learn what they need to do to become successful soldiers. And the other picture, Tom Brady, he's definitely a leader. He can take his team, put them on his shoulders, and he can actually lead them to victory. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but a lot of times They show their people the way that they need to go. So this right here, this is from General Petraeus. This brings leadership into kind of teamwork. So leadership is an individual sport, one that has to be fine-tuned to each of the people that reports to you. Leaders also need to provide that direction, energy, and encouragement and inspiration for each person who reports directly to the leader, as well as for the overall organization. So the leader isn't just there to make himself look good. The leader is there to improve the organization overall. They're there to make everybody better. Your leaders for your sports teams make the sports teams better. They make your school better. They make your environment here better. Your student governments, the people that wanted to be the secretaries, the presidents, the vice presidents, they're the people that took it upon them to try to make your lives here in the school better. So that's why they're leaders. They want to make everything better for you and for them. Okay? On a team, it's not the strength of the individual players, but it's the strength of the unit and how they all function together. So without leaders, you're not going to function. If it's just a group of players together and they don't have one clear goal, they don't have one thing that they all want to accomplish together, you're not going to accomplish it. This guy may want to score 50 goals. This guy may want to block 50 shots. If you guys don't have a set thing together and put it all together, you're not going to achieve the results that you want to achieve. Okay, on here, does anyone know what the difference is here? There really isn't. On the top picture right there, that's our recruiter retention. We have leaders, the people that are standing in front, and then we have all the soldiers that are actually doing their job. They're putting the people in the military that need to. They're fighting the fight that needs to be fought. In the bottom picture right here, those are actually all people that are in recruiting as well, and they're in the military. They actually won some championship here in Vegas. They won a national championship. So there's leaders, and then there's other leaders, okay? As long as you take charge, and you show people a purpose and a direction, and you take and you step forward and you show the best thing that you can, then you can help people achieve what they need to achieve. Leadership, regardless of team size, mission, or makeup, is about managing people. You need to be able to manage people. You need to be able to provide direction for everyone to go where they need to go. If one person steps out of line and they stop doing what they're supposed to do, the whole thing can just fall apart from the inside. So make sure you provide everyone purpose and direction, because as long as we're all pointing the same direction and we all have the same goals that we want to achieve, then we can achieve anything. Thank you.
So we start back at the beginning. The importance of healthy living goes beyond sports. How many people in here play sports? How many people have played sports in their lives? Most everybody, right? Most everybody's been exposed to that. I'm going to give you some scary stats about sports. The chance of being drafted by a pro sports team, say by the NBA, is 0.03%. By the NFL, 0.08. By the NHL, 0.35. By the WNBA, 0.03. And look at the length of the careers. 5 years, roughly, right? That's of being drafted. Now, getting a high school scholarship, from high school to go to college, getting a scholarship. 2%. 2%. So it's low, right? Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but it's low. So, you look back and you say, how do you identify a player that's made it? Is it playing for the Bruins? Is it playing for the Patriots? Is it playing at Boston College? Does that mean that means you made it when you've gotten there? I used to think, when I was sitting where you are, I used to think that was it. I played college football. When I got to University of Maine, I was like, boom, I've made it. Right? Here I am. I'm at U Maine. I've made it. I got it all figured out. This is all those sports I was doing my whole life. For right now, here I am, U Maine. I'm all set. I didn't play in the pros. So did I make it or not? These are the things. This is what you made it, right here. You made it when you're accountable. when you've learned from sports, when you've learned from your drama class or your band or whatever group of people that you're with, that makes you know that you made it. When you're accountable, when you have good social skills. I'm really impressed, I'll tell you right now, to come in here and see you guys sit here and listen the way you do. So I would say something's right going on out here in Clinton. All right, I'm telling you right now, I've been around a lot of people. You can overcome adversity better, right? When you lose games and you're a high school football player, you gotta regroup, right? You lose games, you're a high school women's basketball player, losing teaches you something. Say you're on a losing team, you win no games during the whole year. I've been on some of those teams. You almost learn more that year than you do on championship winning teams, right? It's what you learn, life lessons you pull from it. Having the ability to work within a team. People don't realize that and how important that is. The ability to work within a team. You never see a job posting, I'm looking for an individual that can't work with anybody, that sits in the back and has no social skills. Every business is looking for a team player. Whether you learned it when you're a Pee-wee, when you're in elementary school, when you're in junior high, wherever it stops for you. That's something you take away with you, working within a team. Because then you're in study groups, right? 4, 5, 6 people in a study group. You know who's going to pull their weight and who's not. That's a team. It's a smaller group of a team. You have leadership qualities like we heard about. It doesn't have to be the rah-rah person. It doesn't have to be the person up front. It could be that subtle person that just tells you to stop at the right time one time. That's a leader to me. Understand the value of a healthy lifestyle. You should learn that from sports. I tell coaches this all the time. If you're not talking to your athletes and your kids and things about being healthy and eating right, you're doing them a disservice. Right? Because everybody's doing something. If you're in a sport, it's athletic, you're running around, you're moving, you're skating, you're jumping, whatever it might be. You're already in kind of good shape, but how do you keep that going forward? Over 20, right? 70% of the people are overweight. What's the biggest thing when you're over 20? People stop playing sports, right? Think about it. The majority of the kids in high school go on and don't play sports. So you've got to find something to keep yourself active. You've learned it, right? You got to move a little bit more and eat a little bit better. So you've learned it here, but it's carrying forward. You know, some people use a sport when they're older to continue to stay in shape. Some people go to the gym. Having good character. Having good character. We talked about building your brand, having good character. You're a good person. You look at the top right-hand corner. Just because you played pro sports doesn't mean you made it. I know a lot of athletes that played pro sports that haven't made it. They haven't figured out how to show up on time. They haven't figured out how to be a good person. They haven't figured out the things that are just part of it all. So they might have the ability, they might have made it there, but have they made it? No. I don't care if you played in elementary school or in the pros. You can figure it out in any of those. And it's funny, you look in the back there. Who's a lacrosse player? Any lacrosse players here? All right, well, you see these guys. This is the Boston Cannons, right? This is the pro lacrosse team. You guys heard of them? Do you know what they make? They're professional athletes. Do you know what they make a year, the top player? Like 20 grand. They have other jobs. So you can be a pro sports athlete and not make the money, right? But these people, they go back and they're still playing because they enjoy it and they like being part of a team. Now, we covered a lot of topics here today. We have a leadership conference. If you go to this website, bostonbruins.com/performance series, that's going to be late in the spring. It's free if you want to come down and learn a little bit more, have a little bit more interaction. But I challenge everybody in this room, like I challenge athletes I've worked with. Be the person that changes. Don't be the person that stays the same, goes on for the rest of your life and say, you know what, I probably shouldn't listen to that. I used to tell players all the time, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I'm going to tell you what I think of you as an athlete, as a person. If I see you in the rink after you've been traded to another team, I don't want to look you in the eyes and you tell me, oh, you should have told me. So don't be afraid to make a change. Don't be afraid not to be the person that has the coolest social media account. Because we do, I'm telling you right now. We hire interns with the Bruins. We sit down and we search you and we look at your photos. We do, I'm telling you right now, and everybody else does it. And even if you're like, oh, well, you didn't understand, I was at this party and this and that, I didn't drink, but you're in this thing that looks that way, people perceive it. So make a change. We appreciate being here. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.
On behalf of the high school and also the middle school, just want to take a moment and say thank you to the representatives from the Boston Bruin organization, BFit, and the National Guard. And one of the things that was listed there on that last screen is something that's certainly radiating here from this panel, good people of character, because they wouldn't be spending their time with young people and students unless they really felt what they were doing was the right thing. So we're very grateful to you for that. Thank you so much.